morning, humans. I'm going to record a little podcast. I've been thinking a lot about what it takes to get somebody to do something, to show up and follow through. And this is for all of the perfectionists, the overthinkers, the overachievers, the procrastinators, the all or nothing thinkers. Maybe I said that, I can't remember. All of those people. Because I am that person. I do all of that. Even though I very much follow through on a lot of the things that I say that I'm going to do, I still encounter all of this resistance. And I'm going to use the term resistance to generalize, to be the umbrella of all of these things. There's other things that come up, emotions, anything that's standing in the way of you actually following through on the things that you say you want to do. I think sometimes we have certain operating systems in the way that we go through life that stop us from actually making progress. I have one example of someone I'm thinking of that they're retired, so life is different, you know. They get to decide what their daily schedule is. They get to do whatever they want, essentially. But instead of taking action on the goals that they want, they're letting the day decide what happens. And that's great if that's what they want. But I also know that they have certain goals that they're working towards, and they're not able to show up for those goals because they're allowing the day to dictate what they do. We all have various things that get in the way. Obviously, our jobs take up a fair amount of our time. But the time outside of our jobs, we're not in full control of, but we can create an illusion of control. And I love this phrase because reality is essentially all an illusion of control. None of us have control of anything. We can believe that we do. And when you believe something, there's a car behind me. I don't know if you can hear that. We'll wait till it goes by. Okay. I haven't decided if I'm editing this or not, or if I'm just going to post it. But I've been seeing this woman. I follow her on YouTube, and she does daily YouTube videos, and she just fucking posts them, puts them up. And I'm like, that is doing it shitty. And I love it. So I was listening to the Clutterbug podcast yesterday as I was going through my house, doing some decluttering, doing like a Sunday reset where I went through my socks. I have a bin of socks. That's where I keep my socks. And I went through them all because I've been meaning to do that for like months. But I digress. She was talking about doing it shitty. How she said the phrase like, I haven't done it yet because when I do it, I'm going to do it perfectly. Now maybe that wasn't her exact words, but essentially that concept of like, well, I haven't failed because I haven't done it yet. So it's in process, it's in holding. I'm going to get to it, and when I get to it, I'm going to do it perfectly because I do everything perfectly. Or I don't do it. And I think that is what I want to focus on, of like, I'm one of those people where I have a lot of ideas, a lot of things I want to do, a lot of passions and things I want to get good at. But the actual learning process is so hard for me because I have these expectations that I've set on myself. Notice, I set these expectations. Now, they were probably set because of something in my childhood that was sort of exhibited to me of like, oh, you got to show up at this kind of level, right? So then I was like, oh, you want me here? Cool. I'm going to try and be here. And that, in reality, just fucks you up. So like, I have a lot of things I want to do and learn, but I haven't done a lot of them because of that learning process where I have to be bad at it first. And so I loved the way that Clutterbug talked about doing it shitty. She's actually writing a book on it, which I'm so excited for. I take a coffee sip. So LA is the worst place to record a podcast if you don't have a proper studio. And obviously this is not necessarily a podcast. It's a video with me talking in a terrible room. The audio in here I know is going to be terrible, even with this lovely mic that somebody gifted me. But I digress. We're doing it shitty. And I have a short amount of time to talk today because I'm going to hop on a call in half an hour. And I'm packing for a conference tomorrow. It's all the things. But I want to talk more about showing up for what you want to do, for the goals that you have, the achievements that you're trying to get to, whatever it is, the hobby that you want to learn, I don't know. For the longest time, I've been talking about fitness, and I've been talking about health, and I've been talking about nutrition. And the underlying theme in all of them, I have a dog under this table, so if you hear noises or the camera shakes, that's why. But the underlying theme in everything that I talk about is this process of deciding what you want, identifying what are you even going after, okay? And I start there because when I looked at my life and I was like, oh, I'm stuck in this job that I don't enjoy. I don't feel fulfilled. I know I can do so much more. I have desires for so much more. And this was, I would say 6 years ago, but honestly, it's always been that way of like, I want to do more. I want to, yeah. So identify what it is. What are you going after? Identify why. Why are you pursuing this goal? Because obviously, a lot of times people are like, oh, I don't have the motivation to do that and blah, 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 and blah. Motivation. Yeah, cool. You do need motivation. That is obviously a driver. It's necessary. But that is where it starts, okay? The motivation, the why is the match that lights the flame. And then everything else you do after that supports that so that this little flame can blossom. But it's not going to blossom if you don't feed it wood. Okay, this metaphor is trash. But my point being that you identify why you're pursuing this goal, what it will get you, who you get to become, right? Why the fuck do I want to post on the internet? Why do I want to be on social media? I think because it has to do with vanity. Sure, that's an underlying theme of I want to post on social media because I want to be liked. I also recognize by posting that I may be hated. Just have a fucking opinion. That'd be great, right? I want to connect with more people, right? I work from home. Solopreneur. I don't get out as much as I would like to. And it's a way of feeling like I'm not alone. And sharing my experiences, my journey of this fucking perfectionistic mindset that just has embodied everything I do and taken over. We don't want it. So we're trying to get rid of it. It's a process. I have mastered it in other areas. Back to the train of thought here of identifying it, figuring out your why, connecting with your why, but then recognizing that the next step isn't just, cool, I got a why, I'm motivated, let's do it, right? No, it's acknowledging that you're going to have all of these obstacles that are going to come up. resistance that is going to happen because you have now decided that this is what you're going to do. That is just how our human nature happens. When you say, oh, I want to do that, your brain goes, no, you don't, bitch. Who are you to say that you want to do that? Critical, criticize, mean, nasty shit coming out, right? We all have it. Well, I don't know if we all have it because I'm not in everybody's brain, and I have talked to at least one person who says, oh, I don't think negatively. Ignore that little tangent there. Doing it shitty, right? Doing it shitty. So the train of thought that I was on that clearly left the station without me. What was I talking about? I was talking about awareness. Oh, yes, resistance. Okay, so everybody encounters resistance. When you decide you want to do something, all of these ideas come up and they get in the way, right? You know, your perfectionism, I'm not ready, it won't be good enough, it's going to be bad. Your procrastination of like, oh my God, there's too many things, I don't know where to start, I'm just not going to do anything. Your all or nothing thinking of like, I have to do it all right now, and it has to get done, and it has to be perfect, and I have to do everything right now, and I can't do it in stages and steps, which is actually what you need to be doing. Break it down. Tiny, teeny, tiny steps. So small. Only way. Perfectionism, procrastination, all or nothing thinking, overthinking, over planning. We do that to the max. I am an over planner. Like legit. I have a journal on journal on journal of me thinking and thinking and thinking about what I plan to do. There is a limit to planning. There is a point at which planning is no longer planning. It's wasting your time. Promise. Promise. As an overplanner, as an overthinker, as someone who is constantly like, in the fucking brain mess, it's not necessary. Literally. And I've learned this very key ingredient, key element, key lesson, that if you want to get shit done, your giant to-do list is beautiful. It's a great brain dump. It does help ease the stress of what you need to do. But then the next step, prioritizing it, figuring out what actually needs to get done, and picking 3 things. 3 actions to do. And that's it. Anything more than that, and you're dreaming. A lot of times we overplan because we want certainty. The only thing that is certain is death. And even then, who knows? Are we even real? I don't know. It's just all neurons. So when all of these things come up, right? The overthinking, the planning, the perfectionism, the procrastination, all of it, what do? Most people just allow all of that to happen, and they get stuck in this, mind drama, right? Mind drama. Mind viruses, that was a term I heard recently, and I'm going to steal it because it was great. Mind viruses, mind drama, mind chatter, the little nonsense, right? It's just all nonsense. It doesn't move you forward. It doesn't make you get to your goals any faster. Honestly, you just spend so much time just thinking about shit. Wasting time. So, all of that to say that I think that the key lesson today to take away from all of that is when you encounter all of this resistance, the big umbrella of all of the things that happen, when you decide that you want to do something and achieve it, all of this stuff comes up. And the goal is not to suppress it. It's not to shut it out. It's not to silence it. It's to acknowledge that it's happening. So I have a process. part of my CARAT system. Whoop, and the dog is moving. What are you doing? Part of my CARAT system. And it is essentially teaching you, cue, buddy, cállate. Your paws are clickety-clacking everywhere. Nobody's going to want to hear that. Can we lie down? Can we lie down? You're such a good boy. Maybe, I don't know if they can see you. Can you see the dog? Probably not. Sit. Oh my God, I'm not going to hit you. I'm going to clean your eye gunkies. Ew, that's nasty. That's nasty. Hi. Can you say hi to the camera? Hi. This is my dog. Okay, go lie down. I'll let you out when we're done. I have 2 more minutes. Okay, Q is to even acknowledge that you have to just start paying attention. Start paying attention to your behaviors, your actions, your whys, what is happening, what you need, what you don't need, anything. Just start paying attention. So the Q could be I teach my clients something called awareness checks, where every 3 hours they have an alarm, it goes off, and they just start to pay attention to what is happening in their bodies, behaviors, life, world, emotions, whatever, stress, all that. The next one, QA, awareness. So once you're cued in, you start to develop an awareness to understand what is happening in your mind, in your body, in your behaviors, all of the things. That is the key, okay? You got to learn this. This is a habit, a behavior, a tool, a strategy, whatever you want to call it. It is how you do the things that you do. If you are not paying attention, you won't be able to do anything. That's just truth. We go back to that story I told about the woman who just lets her day happen to her. That's why she's not following through, because she's not aware that that is happening. Or if she is aware that that is happening, she is just letting it happen. There is no structure. There is no logical process. There is no environmental cues or setup that says, hey, maybe don't do that, do this, right? So A, awareness. R, recognize. Recognize what you need. Okay? That means you've developed an awareness of what is happening in your behaviors, in your mind, your resistance, what is coming up, right? And then what do you need to overcome that? Do you need more knowledge? Honestly, probably not. You already know everything. And if you don't, you can find it out. Which is why the diving into the health and the fitness and the nutrition and all of those things isn't what I want to focus on, because you can find that knowledge anywhere, right? You don't need another workout plan. You don't need another set of macros. You need to actually follow through. You need to actually do the plan long enough to get the result. And I'm evidence of that because I've been trying to grow a booty for at least 2022, 23, 24, 25, 5-6 years, right? And she's growing, but it's a slow process because I'm not as consistent as I would like to be in the gym. That's not a problem with the plan I'm following. That's a problem with me making time for the gym in my life. So you got to recognize why the resistance is happening. What is coming up? What is causing this resistance? Now, you don't always need to know the why of your resistance. That's therapy. That's thinking about the past. It can help. Absolutely. It can help to understand the behavior and what is causing it. You just need to figure out how to change it. Of oh, this is happening. I don't have to listen to it. I think there's this belief that any thought that we have is true. I think it's Brené Brown, The Work, maybe. The Work is basically, you have a thought, it comes up, and you question it. Is it true? Is it true that I can't make art because I won't be good at it? That sounds a little silly. I might be good at it. Does it matter? Do I need to be good at art to make art? No. Is it true that I can't commit to being consistent with my workouts because I don't have any time? Cool. Why don't I have any time? Because I'm prioritizing other things like commuting, driving, family, making meals, doing dishes, laundry, things I could be delegating. I don't have kids, so we're not going to get into that. But the point of the question is to question if it's true. If every single instance about this thing is true. Because if there is evidence that it's not true in some capacity, then you can begin to shift your belief about it. And by shifting your belief about something, you can change the way you think about it. You can change your perspective on it. You can change how you interact with it. So your resistance comes up, your overthinking, your perfectionism comes up, your procrastination comes up. Where is this coming from? What can we do to change it? What do you need to work through it, to overcome it, right? C-A-R-A, another A, anticipate. This one is interesting because I break it down into plan and prepare. Planning what you're actually going to do, the action steps. Planning basically means that you're going to figure out exactly what steps, behaviors you need to do, right? What are the action steps, right? So when I was planning to learn how to do a daily walk, I basically wrote out a checklist of all of the things that I needed in order to accomplish a daily walk. So basically, do all the things. I needed clothes to wear, I needed shoes to wear, I wanted headphones, I wanted a coffee to go with me on my walk because it just made it easier. I wanted a route. I needed sunscreen. I needed to have all of those things set up before I went to bed so that when I woke up, all I had to do was go from the bed to put on the stuff to out the door, right? I wrote out that checklist and I put it on my mirror so that I would see it while I was brushing my teeth. I could read it, go get all the things, prep for the next day. That was my planning. The preparing is anticipating all of the obstacles that are going to come up. So weather, timing, missing an alarm or oversleeping or whatever, a terrible route, loud noises, trash day, other things getting in the way of me actually following through. A lot of the obstacles end up being mind drama in bed when the alarm goes off. And so a big part of that preparation process is being ready for that. Being ready for the mind drama, the mind viruses, the little things that's like, oh, I just want 5 more minutes. I just want to stay in bed a little longer. I want it to be warm. I don't want to get out. It's too cold. Blah, blah, blah. The little child who is having her little tantrum moment because you know she is going to come and do that to you and derail your day. You cannot let her. You cannot let her. You can be like, okay, cool. You can have your little minute to bitch and moan. But then we're going to go and do the thing. And so that is the anticipate. Planning, preparing. I teach a practice called if this, then that. Right. Yes. Look at me. Basically, it is, if this happens, then I will do this. And the actual process of thinking through that, all of those little scenarios, anything that might come up, that creates more self-trust, self-belief that you actually can overcome the obstacles before they even come up. So you've thought about it. You've been like, cool, if I get a flat tire on my bike on the commute to work or whatever, I know how to handle it, right? So it's basically, I think of the if this, then that process as you bringing a spare inner tube on a bike ride. You bringing a little bike pump on your bike ride. You are preparing for the inevitable possibility that you will get a flat tire at some point on a bike ride, right? You're prepared. So if that happens, hopefully you've practiced how to change a tire and you can do it yourself. If you have not, go take 10 minutes and give yourself a flat tire and then fix it. That is what that process is for. Okay? So it gives you that security of like, if this happens, I know what to do. I'm prepared. Now, you may still encounter struggles when it happens, but like you're better off, you're more prepared than not. And then the last one, CARAT. Take action, bitch. Just fucking do it. Honestly, this is the hardest part. And a lot of us get really like stuck in the thinking, the ruminating, the planning, the overdoing, all of this. I get it. I've been there. I do that. But the one thing that I think about here is just stand up. Okay, you're sitting on the couch. You're thinking about all the things that are stopping you from doing the thing that you actually want to be doing. The first step, just stand up. Just do 5 minutes. Just start. Keep it so simple. Now, there is another bit of this that I teach my clients, which is environmental setup and support systems, so that you have all of these things that are creating an environment for you to actually follow through. And a lot of times we don't think about that. We don't strategically think about our environment of like, what are all the things that you can do to reduce the amount of friction that you have from doing the thing. So, hopefully some of this was helpful. Fucking construction. I'm gonna cut it here because I gotta go for my call. And maybe I'll edit. Maybe I won't. Who knows? Cool. So video 1 of, whatever. Who knows? Anyways, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. If this was helpful, drop me a comment below. Sign up for my newsletter. Go check out my Instagram. Give me a follow, subscribe, hit like, whatever. All of the things. It helps support me. Not financially, because we're not monetized. But, it just makes me feel better about myself. And then you can be a part of my community. Awesome. Thank you so much. Ciao.